Hey, Marcella, thanks so much for joining the Opening Soon podcast.
Hi, Alan. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to dive into Forte Vita. But before we do, I know that you have a really interesting background in PR, so would love to hear a little bit more about that before we do.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a background in PR. I started my career in New York working in luxury fashion PR. That was kind of always a goal of mine. Um, and I did that for a few years before moving back to LA, which is where I'm originally from. Um, and there is not a huge luxury fashion market out here in terms of like the corporate world. So I pivoted and started working with a lot of lifestyle and wellness brands, be that like e-commerce brands, brick and mortar, kind of anything that fell under remotely under the like lifestyle and wellness category. Um,
Hmm.
from doing that freelance, I built out an agency. So now I have MGPR is my first company that I own, and it is a PR and social media agency focusing in emerging lifestyle and wellness brands. And then that kind of led me to opening Forte Vita, sort of, in a sense.
Okay, interesting. And how did you even get into PR?
So I moved to New York for school, and I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to work in fashion. And my first week at college, a new friend that I had met told me that the place she was interning at was hiring another intern, and that it was a pretty cool job and that I would get a lot of free clothes out of it. So I said, sure,
Nice.
why not? Yeah, and I didn't really know what PR was at the time. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I was just excited to work at a fashion company and get clothes as payment. And so from there, I just kind of fell in love with the job and continued.
Got it. And then so you moved to LA, you realize there's not as much business passion out here with the wellness brands, and that's where you started your own PR company focused on these wellness brands, and that sparked the idea for Forte Vita. Is that how it happened?
Yeah, sort of. So with one of my clients, we would do a puppy yoga. So we would partner with a rescue. It was kind of part of their like give back initiative. We would partner with an animal rescue, have their dogs that were up for adoption come in, and then do a puppy yoga class so people could hang out with them, meet them, potentially adopt them, and that was a huge hit. We did
Hmm.
that once a month, and it was amazing, and it was kind of my event that I created, I ran, I worked with all the rescues. So um, back last March, or I guess this March, we had a puppy yoga, and then my client was, they weren't really keen on doing it anymore, and it was all the way in North Hollywood, so it was a little bit of a drive for a lot of people that would come. So after the puppy yoga, my friend Gianna and I went to lunch, and I was telling her that, it would be so great if we could continue puppy yoga somewhere else, but finding a space to do yoga is not so easy. You can't just like pop up anywhere and have puppies running free and people doing yoga. So the two of us kind of through our lunch talked about how it would be great to open a workout studio that we wanted to go to, because we at the
Hmm.
same time we were having trouble finding a studio that we really liked. So we were like, what if we made our own workout studio and incorporated puppy yoga, so we would have that built-in audience and these customers that we knew wanted to come to something before we even opened like the actual workout studio part.
Hmm. That's smart because you've already tested it out. You know this works. There isn't a dedicated space, and you're like, maybe we should start this. And what is the timeline for, um, like what year was this? So just so the audience knows.
So this was March 2025, and we opened officially October 1st, 2025.
Oh, okay. So you were
Yeah.
doing the events in March, and then you're like, oh, we should open up, and then October happened. Okay. Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Talk to me what happens from March to October. So you have this idea, you think it's interesting. What are the next steps to actually getting it set up and open?
Yeah, so we really like first spent a lot of time just running numbers, projections, making sure that doing this was actually going to work, doing it where we wanted to do it was going to work because we're in Brentwood, um, which is in West LA, and it is like a very expensive area for
Hmm.
rent. So we needed to make sure um, that it was going to work because I feel like in a lot of areas in LA there already are these workout studios, these boutique really nice luxury studios, but over here in Brentwood we have a lot of the chains, like we have a Soul Cycle, a Barry's, we have two Core Powers, so we have all the chains, but there's really
Yeah.
we're the first like boutique studio, so we needed to make sure that it was going to work, that we could afford it, that the numbers were going to make sense, and then from there we just kind of started putting together little checklists. My friend Gianna, who runs the company with me, she works in finance,
Hmm.
so she was kind of heading all of that, the numbers, employees, those logistics, and I was kind of focused on the branding, the vibes of the studio, the social media, how we were going to market it, what programming we were going to do, and what was really going to get people in. So, first official step was finding a space, and we got really lucky with that. We found an amazing space owned by these great guys who own this building, and they run a coffee shop out of the bottom. Their mom has a shop next door. So it's just a really good vibe. They had an empty space upstairs, and it wasn't even on the market or anything. They weren't sure what to do with it. And Gianna and I came in and we were like, this is perfect for our
Hmm.
workout studio. Like, please, can we rent it? Um, so
How did you
we
even get in?
rented it.
How did you even know there was this space available, or how did you even get in touch with them?
So I would work at the coffee shop all the time. My PR team and I, like, we don't have an office because there's only a few of us, so we always meet at this coffee shop that's right below us. And one day, the owner came over and he was like, "You guys are here every single day. Like, what do you guys do?" So we just started a conversation, and from then, he was just, always so nice, always checking in. And one day, I was like, I'm also trying to open up a workout studio, but I can't seem to find a space. And he was like, there's a whole upstairs here that you can check out. So I went upstairs. His mom actually showed me around, and then his brother happens to be a general contractor, so he came in. He did all of our construction for us. He helped us with all of the permits and everything we needed, um, and it really just felt like getting the space felt like such a moment of luck because there were other spaces that we were looking at that had like 10-year leases and the rent increased every month and they were huge and they needed a ton of work, and we would just go and view them and talk to the landlords, and every time we would leave so discouraged. We would be like, there's no way we're going to be able to open this, and if we do, a class is going to have to be like $100. um, so once we connected with the people here, like, and we were able to kind of get this amazing space, we were just like so excited to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and could you share some details about the terms of the lease and how much you're paying in rent or abatement and all that?
Yeah, so they were really nice. They gave us a 1 year lease, which is amazing. I feel like that's like unheard of.
That's really nice.
So they gave us a 1 year lease. Yeah, they with the option to like renew, but they were really nice and understanding that, this was a startup. We had no idea what was going to happen. So we didn't really feel like getting into a 5 or 10 year lease. And then our rent is really great for the area. It's 5,500 a month, which some of the other spaces we were looking at were closer to like 13,000,
Wow.
15,000. Yeah. So
And
when
how
we kind
large
of came,
is your studio space?
our studio is about, I want to say like 12 to 1500 square feet.
Got it. Pretty
So
sizable.
we can fit 20, yeah, it's not bad. We can fit 21 students. And then we have a little front desk area, we have a little locker room, and then a bathroom.
Got it. And
Yeah.
then did they also require like a security deposit? Did they give any months of like abatement or anything like that?
Yeah, so the security deposit was 2 months of rent. And then they didn't give us any free months or anything for construction, but because it was all in the family, they knocked out construction in 4 weeks. So they
Wow.
started construction like on August 5th or 6th, and they were done with construction by the beginning of September. We had our first event in here like September 17th.
Got it. That's really exciting and pretty
Yeah.
fast for a build. Um, and how much did it cost to open up the entire space? And did you have to raise funds to do so, or did you and your partner put in personal savings?
Yeah, so in total, with everything done, construction, rent, paying employees, all the things, the equipment, we put in around 100,000 total. And the two of us split that. So through our personal savings, we both have been saving up money for a long time. Both of us have always, I mean, I have my PR company, but that's like zero overhead.
Hmm.
But we've both always known that we wanted to own a business. We've been friends since we were little girls, like since we were 2 or 3. So
Nice.
um, we've always kind of known that this was something we wanted to do. So once we ran the numbers and they made sense, we were able to do it. And the nice thing is too is the two of us are keeping our jobs. So I'm still doing PR, I still have clients, she still works in finance. So we it's not like, when you first start a business, you have no money coming in for a few months.
Yeah.
It's not like we have no money coming in. We have money coming in from our other jobs. Of course, it's going right back into Forte Vita for now, but we're not like needing loans or like really struggling because we do still have our other jobs.
Got it. And how many other people are helping with Forte Vita? Is there like instructors that you're hiring? Is there front staff? How are you splitting the time? It seems like with PR, you might have a little bit more flexibility in your hours versus her. Maybe she has a traditional 9 to 5 or 9 to 9, depending on her job in finance.
Yes. So there's a team of 20 of us basically. After we got the space and kind of did all of those logistics, we were both like, okay, we don't teach fitness. We don't really know anything about it except for what we like to do as our workouts. So we brought in a like fitness consultant lead instructor position. Her name is Ellen. She's amazing. She's a registered dietitian. She's a fitness instructor for like the last 5 years. So we brought her in and she developed our classes for us. She helped find all of our instructors. She trained them in our specific format. And she kind of oversees all of the fitness, like they're looking at their sequences, getting feedback, helping them out with, creating different moves with our equipment because our equipment is like kind of niche as well. We use these like U bars things, so it's like two dumbbells connected in like a U shape,
Hmm.
which I don't have any right here, but I can get one. But you can do like different weirdish moves with them. So she kind of makes sure that the instructors know what they're doing there. And then we have like 12 instructors. Um, we have like 5 to 6 classes every day.
Okay.
Um, and then we don't have a front desk staff yet. Right now, Gianna and I switch off days because she does have a typical 9 to 5, but she works here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, So we switch off right now, and then we have some college girls that like kind of intern for us and help us with things around the studio while learning. Some of them are, training right now to become an instructor. Some of them just are really interested in the fitness and wellness world. So we have them come in and help us as like an internship. They get to take as many classes as they want, and they get to really like learn what it's like to kind of open a studio like from the start.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I know you mentioned that, in Brentwood, there's a lot of big box fitness studios, but less so boutique, homegrown ones. For the audience, can you describe the vibe and like how Forte Vita works and is different from the traditional Pilates studios or other fitness studios?
Yeah, so we wanted Forte Vita to really feel like a luxury moment. And I guess we can compare it in a way to Core Power, where at Core Power, it's a yoga studio, it's heated. It's some of their workouts are a similar format to ours. I would say like it's kind of the most comparable out of the ones I named earlier. Um, but at Core Power, you come in, your instructor is sitting at the front desk, checking people in, kind of frazzled, because they're about to teach. They just had to clean up the studio from the class before. They're also running the entire front desk situation. You come in like 20, 25 minutes early to secure your spot. You bring your mat, you bring your towels. You get in, you're kind of waiting on your spot, like with all of your things. Then you leave, you have to fold up your mat, clean all of the equipment yourself, put it all back, and then leave. And it's like kind of a chaotic experience. Like
Hmm. Okay.
you're rushing, you feel, like you have so much stuff with you. So we really wanted to do the opposite of that. So when you come into Forte Vita, there's somebody at the front desk. It is not going to be your instructor. It is someone that is solely there to help you find the bathroom, get an electrolyte pack, have an energy drink, get a towel, whatever you need. You book your spot on our app before you come into the studio. So you have a mat and your weights already waiting for you. So even if you come in at 11:59 and your class is at noon, you're totally fine. It takes 30 seconds to, get ready for class.
Hmm.
So the entire like check-in process and getting situated process, we wanted to be really streamlined. We wanted it to be really luxurious, really calming. You're coming in to work out, you're coming to unwind. Like you don't need a really stressful like start to that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the class, it is a heated weighted workout, so it is hot in there, so you will sweat, but we wanted to make sure that it wasn't too hot so that the workout was actually hard. There are some places that, they turn up the heat to like 110, you leave feeling like you're gonna die, but it's only because like it was
You're in a
so hot,
sauna.
you're melting. Yeah. So our studio stays about 90 degrees and you still leave like drenched, but you feel like you got a good workout. And what we focus on is intentional sequencing. So we want to make sure that all of the sequences make sense. They're all doing something different to benefit your body and your workout and to get you to the next place. So we start on the mat, gradually warming up and raising our heart rates to a point where we're standing up. And then we get into a small cardio section, a cool down where we're just using our arms and like our breathing to kind of keep your chest opened up. You can breathe, you can do the workout, and then go to one more mat standing series. And then when our heart rate has slowed enough that it's, safe to like sit back down, because sometimes when you sit down too fast or stand up too fast, you can get a little dizzy. Then we take it back down to the mat. And we really focus a lot on stretching. We focus
Hmm.
on small muscle movements. So you're never going to really feel like super, super out of breath or like you may faint or like you're getting really shaky, because our workout is really like small repetitive movements that are burning out your targeted muscles. So you're like it's hard, but it's not like, you're doing squats with like 35 pounds and like your legs are shaking and like you
Yep.
can't really see, like you're more like burning in your muscles.
Got it. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, thanks for walking through that. I want to dive a little bit into even before pre-opening how you were doing some of the marketing and the PR because obviously that is your expertise. So I'm curious, what steps you took because I imagine most people maybe create an Instagram page, maybe tell some friends. Um, I have heard some could hire PR, some don't, but I would love to hear what you did.
Yeah. So first, I really focused on the branding. So before putting it out there at all, I focused on the branding. I focused on the colors, the logo, the mood boards, the vibe, everything, so that when it was time to like dive into the PR and the social media, we had like a really clear vision of what we were doing. I feel like a lot of the time when you're starting a business, you just kind of start putting things out there, seeing where it goes and where it takes you. And I think that can sometimes give the vibe of being unorganized and
Yeah.
not people not really understanding exactly what you are and what you're selling. So I didn't want that to be an issue for us at all. I wanted everything to be consistent through our Instagram, our TikTok, our email marketing, even the flyers we put out in different, local businesses. Like I wanted everyone to be able to just see one small thing and know that that was Forte Vita.
Hmm.
So I focused a lot on the branding. Then after that, when we were in construction, I was like, okay, it's really important that people know who we are. We're on the second level, so that foot traffic, like, while it's still sort of there, we don't, have like, we can't put up a big banner like on the front door because we don't have one. So we had to really like showcase through social media. So I started with TikTok because that is more casual. And I didn't feel like our TikTok needed to be as dialed in as our Instagram strategy.
Yep.
So I just started posting on TikTok like random videos. I would post all on the Forte Vita account. So I would post like day in my life opening a workout studio, come
Hmm.
check out the construction with me, different trends that were relevant to the studio, and just trying different things to see what clicked, what people liked. When I first made a voiceover video of my morning visiting the studio and then going to work at the coffee shop, like it did really well. So I started to make more of those types of videos. When we
Hmm.
posted one kind of showcasing ourselves next to the coffee shop in proximity and kind of saying like, okay, we can get a coffee, then we can go work out, or what's above this, amazing coffee shop in Brentwood. It's called Malou and it's kind of new, so everyone in the area like loves it. Um, so people were like commenting, oh my God, that's my favorite coffee shop. I'm so excited to try your workout. So then we started doing a lot more of those videos, even like collaborating with Malou on content and making a specialty drink and stuff to get people like excited. Um, and really what we focused on the in the beginning was the social media. So
Hmm.
before we were able to have anyone in the space or do anything, it was all social media and mainly TikTok.
Yep.
And even now, a month in, I still have people coming in for their first time and I ask them, how did you hear about us? Almost everyone says TikTok.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, that's crazy to me because I feel like a lot of our clients make sales or promote their brand like through Instagram. That's where we've seen most of that actual like action taking customer come from. So it was really crazy to like see everyone coming here from TikTok.
That's really nice.
So
Yeah, it's cool to follow the journey of a vendor, and it makes you feel closer to the brand instead of this you know, brand out of face, or I'm not sure what they represent, or anything behind this. So I think that's really smart that you're connecting all the dots, showcasing the area. I know you mentioned you're also on the second floor. Is that why you also needed a nice sidewalk sign that you got from us to make sure people can
yes.
see it?
Yes, especially because in the beginning we couldn't even put anything on the front door downstairs because we were waiting for like a change of use order and whatever. I don't really know, but
Got it.
um, we got the sign, and then people started being like, okay, we know where you are now because we put it like right outside on the street,
Nice.
and everyone's like, oh, they're right up there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
your sign has definitely helped, and like um, all this like signage is such an important piece of a business that I honestly didn't ever think about because I was always thinking about PR and marketing, but like never really like the signs until we opened. And now I'm like, oh, signs like make a huge difference. Like the amount of people that find us from our sidewalk sign now is crazy. Like I would have before been like, oh, we don't need that. Like that's like a dumb expense, but oh my god, it's so necessary.
Yeah, especially if there's high foot traffic or like the coffee shop seems to be right there, so there's a lot of people passing by. It's just like, we are like I think of marketing mostly as digital marketing and like online, but
Yeah.
then the sign is just the physical marketing piece. So yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
it's doing well for you guys too.
Yeah.
Um, and then, did you also do any like reaching out to blog writers or news articles to try to get Forte Vita featured or leverage any of your existing contacts to do that as well?
Yes. So I would say less on like the journalist front because I feel like we don't have a really strong local news out here in Brentwood. Like there are some neighborhoods in LA that have like really great like small local publications. We don't really have that, so I'm kind of waiting until we're a little bit further along to do really more a piece about like the business and how we're growing and how well we're doing because the opening of another Pilates studio in LA is like not gonna be news.
Hmm.
So what I did leverage a lot of our contacts for, which I think helped so much, was one, influencers. And we did like a whole influencer class. We got a bunch of people in here to take the class and to post about it right before we opened. We did this like I think 2 or 3 days before we had our first class. So that was great. We got so many followers. We sold so many intro packs. So we used all of those contacts, and then another one was brand partnerships.
Hmm.
So we reached out to people for the soap in the bathroom, the candles that we use in the front area, the skincare in the bathroom, the electrolyte packs that we hand out to everyone, some of our weights even, and so many brands that we work with because we work with lifestyle and wellness brands wanted to be a part of the studio. It was such a natural fit for them. Um, and so they sent us a lot of samples for free that we were able to give out to clients on their first day or, during our grand opening party. And even now, like a lot of studios will charge like $3 for an electrolyte packet at the end of class. But we're lucky enough to partner with these brands so that they gift it to us and we are able to give it to our clients for free. Like, you don't have to buy water here, you don't have to buy an energy drink because our brand partners, they just want that exposure
That's really
and
cool.
they want to be able to provide, yeah, that like extra step. I feel like it matters so much.
Yeah, um, that's really awesome, and I think what you said about um, doing PR with local writers at the right time is also really important. And it seems like, based on your experience, you want to time it right where there's a specific event or milestone or something that people would really want to write about and not just try to do PR just for an opening or something that, is a little bit more common. Is that
Yeah.
your experience?
Definitely. I think it's so hard as a founder to not think that your product is the best product in the entire world, and why wouldn't people care about this? But as the publicist, my experience has been like I need to manage everyone's expectations all the time. So my client who thinks their product is amazing, it is amazing, but there's 10 products like it, and these journalists are already writing about them. So we have to make sure, like I do this with my clients, like you have to make sure that you have a really special angle or a really special moment to kind of position your product, because someone is always going to think it's amazing, but someone else is always going to think like, oh, whatever, that's tired, been there, done that, no matter like how good it is. So I think I have that like special kind of outlook as well, which like I obviously own Forte Vita, I think it's amazing, but I'm also realistic. Like when Silver Springs exists in West Hollywood, and I know that's an amazing studio, it's incredible space, it's huge, we are also amazing and great, but like people have already like written about Silver Springs, it's already been like done or whatever. So I'm just I want to be realistic and make sure that I'm not like wasting my time doing the outreach and wasting the journalist time having to read my pitch, and then maybe like thinking I'm annoying at first, and then they don't want to write about me later. Like I'm also trying to savor those like those favors, to call it.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. And for founders and people who are starting brick and mortar, who may be interested in PR or hiring a PR agent, do you have any advice for them? I know you just gave a lot of great nuggets, but just in general, specifically for brick and mortar, business owners, what advice do you have for them?
Yes, I think a lot of PR people and agencies, they will like kind of sell you because that's what they're good at. They'll sell you like these big dreams or like these big promises. And at MGPR, we're like extremely conscious not to do that, because if we're talking about real PR, I can never guarantee that an article is going to come out of my outreach. I can never promise that a video that we make is going to go viral. And so the people that can promise those things are either lying, or they're using bots or various softwares to get these articles or social media posts to go viral, but it's only on paper. Like it's there, you're not attracting the real customers. Like a sponsored article in the LA Times is not going to move the needle as much as a real feature that wasn't paid for, because nowadays like they have a lot of media literacy, and we're always being fed ads disguised as non-ads. And so I think like the younger generations are starting to really learn like what's authentic and what's fake. So you just want to make sure you're working with someone authentic, with someone that you can trust. PR is never guaranteed, and I would say like that's the biggest red flag whenever I hear anyone say that they can guarantee this or they can promise that. I'm like, no, I don't know what you're doing, but it is not PR. So, and then I would say like manage your expectations. PR is like a long game. Like it takes a long time to really like make waves, and you have to invest a lot of money and a lot of time to get there. So I would only do it if you're ready for that investment, and if you have some time, because it's amazing when it pays off. Like I've seen my clients' businesses grow so much. I mean, we're in month 1, and like through all of my PR and social media efforts, we have like 30% capacity. Like we were able to break even this month on expenses, so we didn't even have to like put more money back in, which was crazy. So it works. It just takes a lot of time. And it's like some days, like there will be weeks where there's nothing. Like I was posting on TikTok at first, and I was posting multiple times a day, and we were getting 200 views. But I was like, gotta keep going. And even still, some of my videos are like 0 views, and then I just like delete them and move on and pretend like the 0 views didn't happen. But
Yeah.
it ebbs and flows. Some days, like yesterday, we sold like so many intro packs, so many memberships, event tickets, and we were like, what's happening? Like, why today? Like the day before, we maybe sold like $100 worth of things. So we were like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy, like how things happen. So don't get discouraged, and find someone you can trust. But I think it's an amazing investment. Like, obviously I'm biased, but I think PR and social media, if you can't do it yourself, like, then it's the best investment because it's
Yeah.
so necessary.
No, I appreciate that, and I'm sure the audience will find those nuggets really valuable, especially young. Um, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd love to dive a little bit more into how the first month has gone for Forte Vita, and sort of any numbers you're able to share. I know you said something about 30% capacity. It seems like you generally sell intro packs, or maybe class bundles or individual packs. Like, help the audience understand a little bit better the numbers, and how everything works.
Yeah, so we have various class packs and memberships. The first month has gone like really well, I think. We projected, obviously very conservatively, so $0 in the first 3 months, which we kind of assumed like was not going to happen, but we didn't know exactly what was. So we wanted to be safe. So we're doing an intro special right now, which I would say anyone opening up a fitness studio, one, do like a week of free classes in the beginning. We didn't do this, and I wish we did, because we
Hmm.
were really scared, like, if anyone was going to show up on the first day. um, so do like a week of free classes, and then I would say to do that. And then we did an intro pack of 3 classes for $40. So a regular drop-in class is $34. But we did an intro that made it like, around $11 a class.
Yeah,
And people got to come 3 times to test it out. That's worked like so well for us.
that's a
We've
great deal.
seen a lot of people come back and like buy additional class packs, buy memberships. I feel like 3 times is like a good amount of time where you're not giving them like a lot of time at the studio. Like, you're kind of pressuring them a little bit to make a decision, but also giving them chances to try out instructors and times of day and whatever. So the intro pack is obviously our most sold item, like by
Yeah.
far. Um, Now we're starting to see people purchase more memberships and larger class packs. Like, our 5 class pack has been really popular the last couple of weeks. People really enjoy that. So, and then we have our membership, which is $240 a month, but we are doing $99 for your first month as like another intro thing.
And is
Um,
that like, how many classes do you get with that monthly pack? Or
Unlimited, as many
oh,
as you want.
unlimited. Oh wow, great.
So you can come in twice a day if you want to. I don't think anyone will, but they can. And so our goal now is to really sell like that membership. But in the first month, we did really well. We stayed pretty much at 30% capacity in terms of reservations. Obviously, some days we had more, weekends we did really well. Um, but about 30% uh, per class, like throughout the day. And the trickiest thing is like figuring out the class times that work, because
Yeah.
they're so random. Like, some days, like, the 10 a.m. will be full, and then some days, like, it will be empty. And at the first couple of weeks, like, our 6 a.m. class was doing really well every day. We were like, oh, no brainer, we have to keep this. And then now, like, we canceled 2 6 a.m.s this week because like no one booked them. And it's just
Quite early.
crazy to figure out the class times and like people coming in. And then obviously, like, it's super awkward when someone books a fitness class, a group fitness class, and then they end up being the only person there, and there's a room of like 20 empty mats and just like them and the instructor. So just kind of, we've had to like deal with all of those things and like figure
Yeah.
out like, okay, do we cancel a class if it has 0 people? How long do we wait before we cancel it? Like, what do we do if there's only one person in the class? Do we tell them beforehand? We don't want it to feel like we're canceling on them because, if they want to come, it's fine. But, we want to make sure like we're still providing amazing customer service, but also like operating in a way that works well for us. So it's just been like a learning curve, kind of. I've never had a business like this. Gianna's never done anything like this. So we're just kind of every day like learning and adapting and changing. But we're about to go on ClassPass at the end of this week. So we'll see. That's supposed to like be really good for bringing people into the studio and driving brand awareness.
Yeah.
We wanted to start off on our own and just gauge like numbers and everything with just us for the first month, but now we definitely want more people in the studio. So
Yeah.
we're going to work with them on getting people in. But hopefully we won't be on there forever because they take a huge chunk of revenue.
It's like, is it like 20% or 30% or something?
Like 60%.
60%? Wow. I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
so high.
depending on, I know, depending on, I mean, it fluctuates, like depending on the um, popularity of the class. So, like, let's say that I have a class and only 2 people have booked it. Then it goes on ClassPass. Anyone that they book into that class, they get 60% because that class is dead. So they're helping us out a lot.
I see.
But yeah, but then like if there's a class at 5:30 p.m. that, has 15 people in it, and they fill a spot, then they get less of a percent.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for sharing like your thought process around all those operational challenges, especially at the earlier stages, because I'm glad we're doing this episode within like, the first month or so of opening, whereas, a lot of other guests I've talked to have already been operating for multiple years. They kind of forget like
Yeah.
all the decision points they had in the beginning of like, oh no, what if one person does show up and it's like a one-on-one session with someone? Like, are we okay with that? How do we figure out the class schedule? Like, we're still dialing in so many like levers and figuring out what's working,
Yeah.
especially for Forte Vita, for Brentwood, for our location and all that. So no, I appreciate you sharing that. um, and I think you mentioned that there were around 5 to 6 classes a day, and then around 20 or so people per class is the capacity. So it seems like 100 to 120-ish per day, and then doing 30%, it's probably like 30 or 40 people per day coming in.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So like it's still great. Like I think today we had, 5 people in the first class, 10 in the second. We had to cancel the third class. Our instructor got sick, but then we have 10 people in tonight's class. But then it's like so random because at 7 p.m., we have 0 people in class. So right
Huh.
now I'm kind of just like monitoring and I'm like, I don't know. I guess we'll see
Yeah.
what
What
happens.
what do you do when an instructor calls in sick or can't make it? Do you just have to cancel the class and reschedule everyone in the class, or do you usually find a backup, or how do you deal with those things?
So usually we have enough time we can find a substitute. And we have a big text group chat with the girls. We also have a like subbing network platform that we pay for to like make it more streamlined. Um, so usually we can find somebody. This has actually been the first instance where someone told us like an hour before class that
I see.
they woke up, they weren't feeling good. So I asked like everyone who's local because we do have a few girls that live like within walking distance. So I reached out to them, but they all were busy, and our instructor that was here for the class before also had to leave to get to work. So for this one, we had to cancel it, but we always
Got it.
try to find a substitute, especially if there's people in the class. Um, we never want to cancel, but
Yeah.
for that reason, I'm thinking about potentially like getting my group fitness certification, um, because Gianna and I were saying, like, worst comes to worst, if we can't find a sub, or again, like someone calls out, we both live within walking distance of the studio. So that like wouldn't be an issue if I had to jump in and teach a class.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
but obviously running two businesses, like I don't really have time for that right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um,
Um, and yeah, and I know you're currently at 30% just within the first month, which is awesome. And it seems like Gianna is in finance, so has you guys have obviously worked together on probably a projection model of where the business can be in the next few months to a year. Where do you see this going? Hopefully within the next couple of years or the next year, since it's only a 1 year at least.
Yeah. I mean, yes. So we did. She actually used to walk me through her like updated projections because I literally am so far like removed from math and finance and all of that. But we, based on like our pre-opening sales, we did a projection where we would be at I think 14.1 for the first month.
Hmm.
Um, and we ended up closing October at 14.4.
Nice.
So yeah, so
14,400 for the month.
yes.
Great.
Yes. So we're like on track, trending a little bit better. So I think like for the next year, in terms of like where I see this going, I definitely would love to have this studio like kind of fully booked out, with only 21 people like able to attend each class. I feel like that's pretty doable. I feel like we may even get there in the next 6 months, as long as we keep kind of going where the way we're going. And then we would love to like expand. I would love to open more. I would love to have like a space now that I know, because we didn't really know at first. Like now that I know more things, like I would love to have a space that has two studios,
Mm.
because with class times and like cleaning and like resetting everything, like we need to have at least 30 minutes in between every class. But that 30 minutes can like make or break a class's attendance. Like
Mm.
we have a 6:30 class and also a 7 p.m. class, like on two different days, and the 6:30 p.m. class does immensely better than the 7 p.m. Um,
Interesting.
so, but then the issue there is that the 5:30 class does way better than the 5 p.m. So we
I see. So
can't,
there's like
like, if that
there's
makes
like a
sense.
weird
Yeah.
gap. I see. Got it.
Yeah. So it would be amazing to expand, to have multiple studios in one building. It would also be great to like develop the brand more. Like it would, like I would love to do more like wellness events and like focus on health and wellness and fitness, and maybe even like create our own equipment or create our own like wellness drink or supplement or something like that. Now, like since I've been in the wellness space for a few years now and doing PR and everything, but just kind of building it. Like I would love to be like a mini chain. One day I would love to be like a Soul Cycle.
Hmm.
Um, but obviously that's far far away from
It's
now.
ambitious.
But
You
that
gotta
is
gotta
like
dream
my
big.
goal. Yes, definitely. Um, but we're just kind of going like day by day. I feel like I do this in both of my businesses. Like I'm always ready to adapt, to change. Like we started the PR agency in 2022, so people were like just kind of coming back from COVID, and then there were the fires in LA last year that like totally derailed everything, where and we had to adapt and change, and a lot of our clients closed their doors, so we had to find other businesses to work with and other things to do. So I feel like being able to adapt and like kind of go day by day based on like what's going on and what people are wanting, what the needs are, is good, as well as having like a little roadmap, but kind of being
Yeah,
able to balance the two.
definitely. That makes a lot of sense. And then Marcel, I know it's you've only been open just a month or so, but a question I usually like to ask is, looking back on your journey and not just this 1 month, but since over the last year of getting it set up and uh, working with contractors, figuring out branding, marketing, um, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would have done differently?
No, I don't think so. I feel like this business was really like a meant to be situation. And I feel like everything really worked out exactly how it was supposed to work out. I learned a lot of things. I was able to like put my creative like ideas into practice, which even though I have a PR company, don't always get to do. Um, so I feel like I wouldn't have done anything different. I guess maybe the one thing I would have done is have classes for free for a week before.
Mm, yep, got it.
That's literally the only thing, but even that, like, we're still doing okay. Like, we're still doing really good. So I'm like, whatever about that. But if I had to pick,
Awesome. Great. Well, this has been really helpful, and I'm sure a lot of people are really excited to hear about your experience and learn from your journey. If people want to get in touch and stay and follow along, what's the best way for them to do so?
yeah, they can find us on social media. We are at fortevita.co on everything Instagram, TikTok. That's our website as well. So you can find us there and you can come visit us in the studio. If anyone lives in LA and listens and wants to come to the studio, like, let me know. Um, and if you are interested in finding my PR company, we're MGPR, MG Public Relations on Instagram. And the website is just marcellagiuffrida.com because MGPR is like a guinea pig rescue and they won't like give me the website.
Oh, interesting. That's
So,
a fun fact.
yeah.
Awesome. All right,
Yes.
Marcel. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It was really great meeting you and learning more about your journey, and really excited for the next year and beyond.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I love your signs, and I'm so glad that we have one. It's bringing us a lot of business. So thank you so much.
Awesome.